After witnessing 18 weeks of football in the biggest season in NFL history, especially in insane Week 18, we have arrived to the NFL postseason. 14 teams will look to battle it out to play in the SoFi Stadium. Only one can raise that prestigious Lombardi trophy. 12 of those teams will start that battle this weekend. I'm JTM, and here are my predictions and analysis of the NFL Wildcard Weekend. Before you start to watch, please like and subscribe. Also, if you would prefer to listen to this as a podcast, I have the link for that below. Let's begin. Our first game is the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Cincinnati Bengals. A crazy and an unexpected year for both of these teams. First, the Bengals, a team that was stuck in what was expected to be a very competitive AFC North, and the Bengals walked out of the champions of that division. A real statement moment as they look to make their first real splash in the playoffs for a really long time. On the other side is the Las Vegas Raiders, and what a season they've had. Their head coach gets fired midway through the season for offensive emails, their star wideout gets arrested midway through the season, and maybe they're in the most competitive division in the NFL. With all this drama and chaos surrounding themselves, they find themselves in a Week 18 primetime game against the division rival Chargers. With the implications of the winner making it to the playoffs, the Raiders and Chargers went to war in what was one of the greatest football games of the century. With the last play in overtime, Raiders kicker Daniel Carlson kicked it through the uprights to send the Raiders to the playoffs for the first time since 2016. This game means so much for two teams who have struggled to make an impact in the playoffs in a long time. This is one of the reasons I think this is the most evenly matched game in the wildcard round. Another reason I think this game will be so close is because of the talent of each team. Each team has an above average or maybe even great quarterback who is known to be able to make a big time play. Joe Burrow may get more love for his big-time plays, but Derek Carr has made the same throws every week for the Raiders. Then, each team has a running back who has shown up and played great throughout the season, but they've also been inconsistent as well. Each team has a wideout or tight end who is a star for them. Jamar Chase is currently having one of the greatest rookie seasons we've ever seen, while Darren Waller has proven to be a top-tier tight end in the NFL. The Bengals do have a deeper wideout selection, as they do have two very good wideouts in T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd as well. But what the Raiders have is Hunter Renfrow, who may be the clutchest wideout in the NFL. Since making the game-winning catch to win Clemson the national championship, Renfrow has only gone on to make more clutch catches in the NFL. When it's 2 minutes or less left in the game, Renfrow has been the man Carr has relied on. But both of these teams do not have that good of offensive lines. That will cause both teams to get pressure on the quarterback, especially the Raiders. This is just a super close game that is going to come down to each team's X-Factor players. That player will be Bengals rookie wideout Jamar Chase, and for the Raiders, that will be their defensive end, Max Crosby. In what is going to be the closest game of the wildcard weekend, I have the Raiders upsetting the Bengals 37-34. It will be a high-scoring game, but I think Crosby and the Raiders' defensive line gives a weak offensive line and an injury-prone quarterback a lot of problems. Include the clutch time players they have and add in the momentum they have carrying to this game. I think the Raiders can clutch it out over a Bengals team that is notorious for choking in the playoffs. The next game is the New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills, and this gives us two division rivals that meet up in the first round of the playoffs, as the number 6 Patriots travel to Buffalo to take on the number 3 Bills. These two tied their regular season series at 1 apiece. With the series tied up, these two will go to war to win this game that matters the most. The Bills are a team we expected to see here, led by star quarterback Josh Allen, wideout Stephon Diggs, and a crazy defense. This was a team that was bound to make the playoffs, and they want to make a big-time statement. On the other side is a team that is very used to making the playoffs in the New England Patriots. 2 years ago, Tom Brady left the forever team for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A year later, the Patriots had Alabama quarterback Mac Jones fall right into their lap in the draft. Now with their rookie QB and an elite defense, they're in the NFL playoffs as a wildcard team. Both of these teams have such great defenses that the rest of the NFL has struggled to play against. But we've already seen the 2 games against these two, and those games have shown me everything I think I need to see. The first game had horrific weather that showcased the run games of each team. The other game saw the Bills win by 12. I see the Bills winning the third game. The Patriots under Mac Jones and historic coach Bill Belichick are a super conservative team. The Bills have showcased in many instances how they're willing to take the big-time play and make the big-time play. In the playoffs, you have to be able to make the big plays. Especially with both of these teams having such great defenses, the offense that can make the bigger plays will win the game. With both teams also not having that great of run games, it will come down to which QB is ready for prime time. And of course, I believe Josh Allen is that guy. I think the Buffalo Bills win this game 27-17. Following that game up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, for the 20th time, will be playing in the NFL playoffs. To kick off another road to the Super Bowl, Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will host the Philadelphia Eagles in the first of 3 games to be played on Sunday. Unlike the Buccaneers, the Eagles will have a quarterback making his debut in the playoffs. Jalen Hurts has led the Eagles to the playoffs and is finally starting to cement himself as the man for the Eagles. He's been inconsistent this year, but he's showcased on multiple instances how he can be the man for that team. The Eagles have also paired him up with 2 great weapons in Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. But quite frankly, this is an Eagles team that got here sooner than they want to be. They have the pieces to be a future playoff team, but they don't have the pieces to be a legit playoff contender as of now. That inexperience is a huge downfall when you've got to go up against a man as experienced as Tom Brady. The Eagles will be back better than ever next year, especially with their 3 first-round picks. I just believe they're about to get an embarrassing game they'll remember for a while. I think the Buccaneers clap the Eagles 34-10. Up next is the San Francisco 49ers versus the Dallas Cowboys. The second of 3 games to be played on Sunday, yet this one I think is easily the most evenly contested. The 6th-ranked San Francisco 49ers will travel to Dallas to take on the 3rd-ranked Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys were such an interesting team this year. Heading into the year, their offense was one of the most hyped up in the league. Quarterback Dak Prescott would lead the crew alongside Ezekiel Elliott, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, and much more. The only thing that could hold back that offense was their defense, which has been atrocious in recent times. But this year, their defense surprised us all and took such a huge step. Their defense has arguably been the best part of that team due to the inconsistent play from the offense. Rookie Micah Parsons and second-year quarter Trayvon Diggs have led a fun defense that looked to cause problems throughout the NFL. Standing across the Cowboys is the 49ers, who just snuck into the playoffs. Like most years, the 49ers defense was fantastic. Their offense hasn't been the greatest due to injuries, but when healthy, the offense heading into the playoffs is looking to be a dangerous team. Defensive coordinators have already spent enough time stressing a game plan for George Kittle. But this year, the 49ers gave us a new monster to worry about in Deebo Samuel. This man can do it all. This wideout has scored a receiving and rushing touchdown, and he's even thrown a passing touchdown. His speed is killer, and he's elusive with a good amount of power. He's built like a running back, yet he's doing wide receiver things. It's a really scary thing to worry about, and I think that's what helps the 49ers upset the Cowboys. The 49ers played in the toughest division in the NFL, yet still found themselves in the playoffs. They're ready for a battle against the Cowboys, who've won a very easy NFC East. Plus, Diggs has allowed the most receiving yards in the NFL. Jimmy G just has to play decent and get the ball to his playmakers, and they will do work. I have the 49ers winning this game 30-24. Then, in the final game of Sunday, the Kansas City Chiefs will take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. On December 26th, the Kansas City Chiefs put a whooping on the Pittsburgh Steelers, defeating them 36-10. This pretty much seemed like the end of the Steelers' playoffs hopes. With this seeming like Big Ben's last run, we head into emotional Week 17 as Big Ben would play his last game at Heinz Field. The Steelers would defeat the division rival Browns and would make it into a Week 18 matchup against the Ravens. There's still a chance either of these teams can make the playoffs. A lot would just have to happen. And then, a lot would happen. The Colts had to defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars to earn their playoff spot, and they couldn't. This allowed the winner of the Steelers-Ravens game to sneak into the wild card. The Steelers would then squeak away with a 16-13 win in overtime. Now, all the Steelers needed was the Chargers-Raiders game to not end in a tie. And although it took until the final second in overtime, the Raiders would defeat the Chargers in securing a spot in the playoffs for them and the Steelers. The Chiefs have had a scary start to the year, starting the year 3-4. After that, they would start to play like their normal selves and would secure the second seed in the AFC. I see this game being much closer than their first game. With this being Big Ben's last playoff run, I think we see the best Steelers team we've seen all season. I still don't think that will be enough to beat the Chiefs. I think this game will be close at halftime. However, the Chiefs will pull away at half and secure their spot in the divisional round. I think the Chiefs win 30-17. Then finally, we've got the Arizona Cardinals versus the Los Angeles Rams. And suddenly, there is one game left, and it's another divisional rival game. The Arizona Cardinals were red hot to start off the year. They started off the year 8-1 and were the number 1 seed in the NFC. A slide at the end of the season caused them to finish 11-6. The team on the other side is a group that is in a win-now mode, trading all of their future picks to land stars like Matthew Stafford and Von Miller. They've got a really talented defense and an offense that has talent like Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, Tyler Higbee, and Matt Stafford. This is a talented group that has a legit Super Bowl shot. They have to get through a super tough Cardinals team to get there. The Cardinals and Rams tied their season series at 1 apiece. Quite honestly, this is the toughest game I've had picking. Both these teams have big-time quarterbacks who can make the big-time plays to their wideouts. Both teams also have talented defenses filled with star power. This is a game that will be decided on the final play, and if that's the case, I'm giving the edge to the Rams. Stafford hasn't been the best the past couple weeks, but when it comes to leading a game-winning drive, he's arguably the best in the NFL. Stafford has 42 game-winning drives, which places him third in the league. I'm backing Stafford and the Rams as they win 33-30. So those are my playoff predictions. I know we are in for a crazy weekend, and I can't wait for some great football. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much.